This is Hanging with Hayes, the podcast where real life takes center stage. I'm your host, Chelsea, wife, virtual assistant, photographer, dog mom, and entrepreneur. Join me as I dive into the everyday experiences that shape our lives, relationships, and everything in between. Remember, these are my personal opinions, so take them with a grain of salt. Get ready for candid conversations and genuine insights. Welcome to Hanging with Hayes. Thanks for coming on my podcast.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Keeping it. So this is Patrick, my buddy for a long time. How long have we known each other?
I think it was 2010 when the group I was with showed up to the school you were at.
Yep. So 15 years.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That's crazy.
That's
So
a long time.
I want to talk about you as an electrician, not all about that, but obviously that's a lot of my content is blue collar shit. I want to talk about relationships.
Oof.
How long Zach and I have known you and all the ins and outs of that and your crazy work schedule and the funness of that with dating and relationships in general. So,
Sure.
Yeah. So I guess the first question would be, what inspired you to become an electrician? What made you want to do that as a profession?
To be quite honest, I didn't really know what I was going to do. And working 40 hours a week for basically minimum wage wasn't cutting it. Wasn't letting me move out of my parents' house. Wasn't paying bills. So I had to sit down with my grandpa, uncle, and father. One Sunday we were all out in the garage doing something, and I was like, I need help, basically. I don't know what to do. And my dad's in tool and die. He's been in it for my whole life. My uncle and grandpa are both electricians. And they kind of were just like, dude, you're in the garage working on stuff. You use your hands all the time. Think about a trade. Plumber, electrician, tool and die, anything, just think about it. And I kind of went home and I was like, I guess electrician's going to be it, because if I have questions, I've got two people in my family that I can go to.
Yep.
So in 2014, I got into our local union.
It's been that long?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, that's true because my brother was around the same time, wasn't he?
I think he was a couple years after.
Oh, yeah,
he
you're
just
right.
topped out a couple years ago, right?
2016, maybe. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Well, yeah, 2014, I got in. Actually got in early. They took, I think it was like 6 of us, and sent us out before schooling even started, called us down to the hall, gave us a small bag with basic tools and said, you're going to go to these contractors. They need help right now. Go.
That's scary.
So, yeah. I had absolutely zero clue what I was doing. Getting thrown right into it.
Into the deep end.
So
Literally.
we did that, and I think it was 2 months later school started, or a month and a half, something like that. And
You were there that long without...
Yeah, I mean, we do on-the-job training, right?
Well, yeah.
That's the
hands-on.
pros of a trade.
It's true.
In general, is that you go to school, but your job is doing what you're learning in school. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. So I did that and went through the 5-year apprenticeship. It has its ups and downs.
What's the most rewarding part about it? If there is any.
I have something I can do. Like I'm valuable to somebody.
You're making
right?
a difference for a reason. Yeah.
We're probably always going to need electricians, even with things going to like AI and whatnot. It's electricians
Yeah, is
and
that scary?
electrical techs that do that stuff. So
True.
I mean, somebody's got to make that stuff run and give it the power to run the computers and all that stuff. So you're always going to need an electrician for that. So I'd probably just having a tool that I can use every day. And I learn every day too. I don't always know everything.
No.
So.
And if you claim to know everything, that means
You're a liar.
100%.
That's what that means.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's probably just having something valuable that I can use every day.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys called me. It said, "Hey,
Yep, sure
we need
did.
some help."
And speaking of that, you know how I said that hole in the wall reminded me of a bat? Mm-hmm. You know what happened the other morning? At like 4:45, I hear Kevin open the front door and go, "God damn it!" And then I hear Kevin walk over to our room and go, "Zach, if you're up, I need you right now." And I'd never seen Zach get up so fast. And he gets up, the dog shuffle in our room. I'm barely cognitive. And he shuts the door. And I'm like, there's someone in our house. There's a coyote. There's something wrong. And I walk out and Kevin's got the front door open and he's like, "There's a bat." And I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" He goes, "I don't know if it flew out. It was in my wreath on the outside of our fucking door."
What?
And when he opened the door, it flew
came
in. And he said it started flying over to our bedroom. And he's like, "I had to close the door so fast." He's like, "If you would have woken up to a fucking bat." And I'm like, "Kevin,
What a nightmare.
what the fuck?" Because as soon as I walk over to our electrical panel, I think that's the fucking bat. Because that was still there.
I just want to clarify that I didn't put that hole there without consent of
Correct.
the homeowners. And I was informed that it would get fixed and that I could just walk away.
It's going to. It will. I'll fix it.
Now there's bats getting in the house.
It's fine. Not from that hole. What's the biggest misconception about electricians? Are there any? Like, the bullshit about linemen.
Yeah. Some of us use brooms occasionally. There's a big misconception that we just leave our stuff on the floor, and I'm not going to say we don't, but sometimes if there's a broom handy, we might at least sweep it into a pile.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
So, we do use them, even though there's a lot of things on TikTok going around.
Really?
Oh yeah, there's videos all over like, "Oh look, an electrician was here," with stuff all over the floor, and then they're like, "Oh look, there was a broom right there."
Oh my God.
It's fine though.
It's so stupid. I'm not on that side of TikTok, so I don't know shit. So
It's interesting.
my FYP is a lot different.
I would hope so.
I mean, I have a lot of construction shit on mine, but oh my God. So I know we talked about your schedule being wild, being unpredictable.
Yep.
Do you have a lot of emergency calls or, long hours? Because, a lot of people say that to me in my comments on TikTok and Instagram or wherever. "You're in a union. I'm this, and this is the set time that I get off."
Yeah. Yeah, I see those, and it kind of grinds my gears a little bit, I guess. Because it's not always that simple. I mean, yes, if you're on a big project as an electrician, as a plumber, HVAC, whatever, a lot of times that project is scheduled 7 to 5:30 or whatever every day. And yeah, that's your schedule. And that typically won't change on a big job where there's multiple people, multiple trades.
On a big job.
But with what I do, I'm more on the service side. So I don't really do big construction.
You have before though, right?
I have before I got with the company I'm with now. I did a lot of big construction, and it was a pretty set schedule. Every once in a while, there was like a Saturday that you didn't know if you were working or not. But other than that, it was straightforward. Now, it's not.
You're fucking all over the place.
If I'm in town,
That's shocking.
well, there's that. If I'm in town, typically, I'm probably going to be home by 5:30. Sometimes we do shutdowns where we go in and we test the switchgear, transformers, that stuff, and we can't do that unless that company's shut down. So those hours might be kind of wonky. And sometimes those are just scheduled for like Friday and Saturday. And you work 12, 14 hours Friday so that you don't have to work as long Saturday. But typically, I kind of get called to go out on the road.
A lot.
Quite a bit. We've got a lot of customers that deal with wind and solar power and some gas plants, ethanol plants. And they'll call us and say, hey, we need something done. And I'll get a call on Tuesday night at 6:30.
I need you Wednesday.
Yeah, hey, Wednesday, can you be in Iowa at this wind farm?
So basically, you have to leave right now.
So it's pack what you can and get in the vehicle and go, which I guess for me as a single male with no kids, it's okay.
Right.
You know, I don't really have anything
Tying you down.
tying me down. I can do that.
Yeah.
But it does get a little frustrating because
You can't make plans.
you can't make plans. No 6 o'clock dinners. But
Shit. Fucking video.
dude, I know it.
Oh my God.
That was like the one day that I was in town
I know.
and I was only working till 3:30.
For more context for people, when Patrick did help us, he said, just take me out to dinner. And so Zach made these plans, not me, because everybody gave me shit for that. That was funny. Okay, let's attempt, because he was 8 minutes away. You know, it was an attempt.
Yeah.
Try to go out to dinner. It got canceled or rescheduled. We went out to breakfast instead, which was fine. But the amount of shit I got in those comments for that, you're stupid. If you think that you can plan dinner on a weekday with a man in the trades, you're insane. I'm like, it was a safer gamble than when he was working and fucking like an hour and a half away.
Yeah. And to be fair,
You never know.
you don't know.
No, he could have got off work at 3.
I mean, are these same people that are criticizing you cooking dinner for their family at 5:30 and then upset when their dude's not home till 7?
No. Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's the same thing as planning to go out to dinner, you know.
Exactly.
We thought it would work.
Put their food in the microwave and let it sit there. It'll be okay.
I could have got stuck at work late.
Correct.
We didn't know.
Nope.
We thought Zach was close and it was going to be fine. I knew I was in town, thought it was going to be fine.
And it was more like, hold on. He's almost, nope, never mind. Just kidding.
Yeah, that didn't bother me any because I understand. I mean,
Understand.
I get phone calls to leave at 6:30.
Exactly.
We've been on the road working and the boss has called and said, I know that you're here, but can you drive 2.5 hours back to the shop to get something and then drive 8 hours to be there tomorrow morning to drop something off? And stay and help them a little bit in whatever. We've done that. The guy that I go out of town with a lot, that happened to us when we were down.
The guy that saw my TikTok video.
No.
Funny to me.
No, this guy doesn't watch that stuff.
Oh my God.
But
That will be funny forever.
Yeah, that was pretty wild.
That was weird.
Yeah, we were like 3 hours outside of town. Boss called, and the guy looked at me and goes, "Dude, we got to finish this job here. You just stay here. I'll do all the driving." And he did it. He drove, got the tool, drove all the way to New York to the wind farm that we had been on 2 years ago now. He got there at like 2:30 in the morning, slept in his van for a couple hours, met him on site, did whatever, drove all the way home. Stuff like that happens.
I hope you don't pay for like gas or anything.
No.
Okay.
No, we have gas cards
That would suck.
and company vehicles.
That's good.
So we don't have to pay for that stuff.
That's good.
And hotels, typically we have per diem. So that's not a problem either. But yeah, I mean, that stuff happens. You don't.
It's super unpredictable.
Yes.
Can't.
We're in a union.
Right.
My union's a little different than Zach's. I mean, we do 2 different trades.
Completely different.
So
I love those comments like, what do you mean he can't leave at 3? Bitch, if there's a fucking water main burst, you just gonna say, see ya?
what am I supposed to do in my case? Drive to Iowa. They've got a wind tower down. Now, people might hate windmills. So be it. That's on you. I don't really care. It provides me money and work. And whoever's property it is on, they get paid once a year from that tower.
Do they really?
Yeah.
I would have never thought about that.
They get a check for whatever that tower produced and fed back into the lines. They get a cut every year for each tower. So if you have 1 tower, 1 check. 2 towers, 2. Yeah. So.
And I bet it's a hefty bitch. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know anything about that.
It's nice enough.
That's crazy.
It's nice enough.
I mean, I guess it's the same thing like when we were living in our first house, they came and put power lines in and they sent us a fat check. I was like, well, that's interesting.
For tearing up the property. And
they were really good about it. I could not believe how good they were about it. Like, really good. They fixed a lot of our driveway.
Well, they want to leave a good taste in your mouth. So when they got to come back and screw something else up.
Because they did.
Yeah, but yeah, it happens. But like, what are we supposed to do? A wind tower's down, somebody's not making money, or a manufacturing plant goes down, a machine blows up, they're losing hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars for this thing being down.
Yep.
It's 4:30 in the afternoon. We're trying to leave, and something happens, or you get called to it after you've been at work all day.
Exactly.
What are we supposed to do? Leave them down and have the customer lose? My bad, dude. I got a family at home. Sorry, you're going to lose millions of dollars being down overnight before we can come in and even start on it. Can't do that.
No, you
lose customers. It ruins your company reputation.
Faster than you can say all of that. Anything.
So you got to go in. You got to get it done. And sometimes it's last minute. You have no control over that. You don't know when you're going to be home. You can't put a time frame on fixing that either.
Oh my God, no. Because as soon as you do that, then you're fucked.
Yeah. Because
that's what happens. Like Zach will say, oh, there's emergency here, here, and here. I'm not going to tell you a damn thing. And I'm like, I know.
It's not worth it. We had a paper mill blow up. One of their breakers blew up. And we got the call at like 10 o'clock in the morning. It might have been even a little earlier. 2 of us drove out there, assessed the situation, got a game plan. We were talking to the people on site, the company, and at first they were like, "Yeah, just get it kind of fixed tonight, and you can come back tomorrow and finish it." And then they realized how much money they were going to lose with it being down. I think that turned into an 18-hour day for us by the time we all got home. And we had to call 2 other people to help because it was a disaster. And that took 4 guys, 18 hours to fix something. You can't put a time frame on it. You can't say, well, we're leaving at 3:30 or 5:30. Sorry.
That would not fly.
Figured out. No, it wouldn't at all. So sometimes you can't control it.
Yeah, a lot of times.
And it's just part of it.
It just really bugs me when people say, oh, well, his union sucks. No. That union has paid our bills and they have been fine since the beginning. We're not one of those like diehard union people by any means, but they pay our bills and they make sure we're fed.
Yeah, the money from being in the union puts food on my table. My money's gotten me out of some debt.
100%.
It's put me in I'm going to say comfortable spot. I'm not rich by any means, but I'm not in debt up to my eyeballs wondering if I can even afford the not so dollar menu at McDonald's anymore,
So what's the most bizarre job you've ever been on?
I don't think we had anything really super crazy other than when I was in New York. The wind farm kind of ran through a bunch of farmland, and
Are they right in the middle of pastures?
oh yeah,
Oh.
oh yeah, we had yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's where I was. That's actually where I was going with this.
Okay.
So some of the cable tested bad, and we had to find the spot and fix it. And it was in the middle of a cow pasture, and there was cows all over, cow pies everywhere. You know, they were trying.
Not getting paid for
they
this.
they were trying to walk around right where we're working, and like they were being nosy. You know how cows are. They were like, "What's going on? What's going on over there?" So we actually had to have we just somebody put a snow fence up, and it was kind of enough that they didn't try to go through it. They kind of just saw it, and they were like, and would walk the other way. But yeah, I mean, that was kind of
That's pretty funny.
one of the weirder things, you know.
That is weird.
It's nothing really like super crazy though.
Yeah.
Just
Fucking cow.
the weird thing is the people around, and sometimes some of the environment, not necessarily the job that we have to do.
Yeah.
So
Been in some fucking nasty houses, probably.
a couple. I typically try to stay out of residential and do more commercial and industrial stuff, but those machine shops are pretty filthy. You know, you think you wash your arms and hands off, and you get home and take your shirt off, and you're covered in
Stuff.
metal shavings, dirt, whatever. You know, it looks like you still got a shirt on. So then you shower that off, and you're like, "Holy crap!" Like that. It went through the shirt. It went
And
through
you know,
the pants.
most people are in that every day.
Every day.
Look at Kevin. All the rubber on him too. Like, whoo.
Some of it gets nasty. Some of it gets hot. Some places we have to wear FR clothing, long sleeves, pants.
Oh yeah.
And that doesn't change when it's 100 degrees outside or 120 in the building that you have to be in.
No airflow.
That is a requirement that you have to have that on, so you just got to deal with it.
With no airflow at all.
No, there's never airflow.
Ever. So now the fun relationships part. Patrick has been
My
our
parents or
no. We adopted Patrick a long time ago as our child, essentially. Even though he's older than both of us.
yeah, it's kind of weird, but
It's fine.
it's fine. I don't mind third wheeling.
Nope. But it's relationships that you've been in.
What about them?
Wow. Taking your phone and going on your Tinder and just, swiping for you is very fun. You're not the only friend I've done that with. It's, yeah.
Somebody else might as well do it because it doesn't work for me. So
Yeah. But
yeah, I don't know.
how do we balance this, Pat?
Well, quite frankly, we don't. Yeah, I'm not good at balancing it. Apparently, I don't know. I had two relationships that I thought that I was doing what I could on my end to balance things and make time for them and whatever, while also trying to get myself in a better position in life and financially and whatnot. And in both situations, it was not enough. And I'm sure there's things that I did wrong or could have done better, because I think if somebody says that the other person was the only problem, they're probably not right. You know, I mean, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has things to work on. I'm not sure how to balance it, quite frankly. I think that there has to be an understanding
There definitely does.
as far as work schedule goes or lack thereof.
The
I
very
think
unpredictability of it.
I think an end goal, communicating that with your partner and knowing,
At the
hey,
beginning.
look, this, at the beginning, this is what we're trying to achieve, and it may take some work. I mean, relationships take work in general, right? But blue collar relationships are, everybody wants them until they got them,
Yep. And they don't know how to act with them.
you know, and most of us are pretty brash. We got mouths, you know, we can be assholes.
But those are the type of men you need in your corner. As a female. That's just me saying that.
Yeah, I can't speak on that, obviously.
But I am. So
You know, it's just, I think being very clear and communicating early on that, hey, this is my job. It's very unpredictable. This is what I'm looking for at the end,
I
whether
really
that's
think-
with the relationship or with just where you want to be with that person financially, or what is a goal and how are we going to get there, and knowing that it may
a
take
team, though.
yeah, right, and knowing that it may take long hours, it may take hard days. I might come home pissed off, you might come home pissed off. If you're working, I might have to be 80%, you might have to be 80%, and trying to balance it and understanding that both people have flaws.
yeah.
Nobody's perfect. When you're with somebody long enough, you're going to find things about them that probably irritate you.
Yeah. But you choose to look past those
you choose
things.
to look past those things because you know that is just a small thing compared to the whole picture. But I can't balance one. You know, it doesn't work for me.
You pick some interesting females.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's also very, I don't even know what the word is, but I guess frustrating to be a friend. And I know people are going to be like, oh my God, you can't be friends with a guy.
Yeah.
To be your friend and see all these females that straight up just think I'm a threat bothers me to no end, because you're literally like my brother. And I'm not just saying that.
No.
And it's makes me angry.
Yeah, and trying to deal with that on my side is pretty frustrating too.
And I feel bad because then it's like, well, yes, we've been friends for a very long time, but you're also friends with Zach.
Yeah.
And it's
I've been friends with him for
almost as long as me and you.
It's
right.
been maybe 3 years less, roughly.
Right. And that's a long time.
Yeah. I mean, we're looking at 10, 12.
Yeah, exactly. It's
much longer than I've known most of these women that have the problem.
correct. But I mean, a blind person can see that I'm very much in love with my husband, but
Right.
okay.
See, the blind people also see on TikTok that he's probably not in love with you and he's late because he's out to dinner with somebody else.
He is. He's having an affair
Right.
with everybody.
Dude,
And you also, his coworkers say that. He's the first person to leave the job site. He's excited to go home.
his coworkers come hang out with you guys.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that they would be
No.
so easily swayed to just come over to dinner if they knew that something was going on or something. You know, like,
I make them
And they see
fucking
it.
dessert.
right.
He won't eat it because he doesn't like sugar. So I make them dessert.
So it's for them. He's probably like, yo, it was great, babe.
No, he doesn't even try
doesn't
it,
even
dude.
try it.
No. Hell no, he doesn't. The only thing he eats is ice cream. So I'm really tempted. He's not going to watch this. I really want to get a Ninja Creamy and make like ice cream for him.
Yeah, that would melt at work though.
No, not at work. Not at work. It has to be at home. But I want to buy one so bad. But they're like $300 fucking dollars. But that's the only dessert he eats, and I want to make a dessert for him.
I feel like that's a justifiable expense.
It's the only one he eats. But yeah, you're right. His coworkers literally come here and hang out with us. They want to they'll text me pictures of him. Here you go. Here's pictures, Zach. Thank you.
They ask you guys for relationship advice.
Right.
I mean,
And they're not the only ones.
no, I do it too.
I know.
Although your advice is terrible because it's clearly not working for me at all.
You overthink everything.
Truth.
Am I wrong? No.
No, I do overthink a lot.
You have to be accountable for that.
Thought I was over the accountability stuff. I was accountable for saying that sometimes I'm in the wrong in relationships, and I know that. That's where my accountability ended. I'm done.
Oh, that's it?
I mean, it's true, though. There's things I could have done different in relationships.
Absolutely.
Do I think that it would have saved them? Probably not.
Pick girls with lots of trauma.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. You're not really wrong. Those also seem to be the ones that are attracted to me, so it works.
What does that mean?
Nothing. It gets them a couple dinners for a few months.
Just a couple?
On my dime.
A couple.
Yeah, a couple. You know, like, hey, thanks, I'm out.
Like you, because you're friends with a girl.
You work too much.
Yeah. You work a lot.
I mean, let's be honest. Before I got with this contractor, I was with a female who...
With a female.
I was with a female who I liked a lot. We had our problems, but I thought things were going to be all right. I was struggling financially, trying to dig my way out of a hole and try to build a better future for us. We had a discussion on jobs, and this opportunity came up, and I knew there was going to be a lot of out of town stuff. And she said, "Take it." She said, "You need to take that."
This was the most recent one? Oh.
The one that's engaged.
So almost the most.
Yeah.
Second to last.
Yeah. And she said, "Take it. Go get yourself out of that hole, build up something for us." And then I was gone a lot. You can tie this right back into work. I got there, got to the company. They said, "You're going to go down here into Indiana, southern Indiana." Show up there, expecting to work Monday through Friday, be home on weekends. This was only a couple hours away. It was going to be an easy jog for the weekend. Got down there, and the job site was like, "Yeah, we're actually not ready for you guys yet. So
What?
So don't just come back in a couple weeks." So the guy I was with made a phone call to our boss, and our boss said, "Okay, head to New York. They need you there." So I had made these plans and talked to her. "Hey, I'm only going to be a couple hours away. I'll be home every weekend or every other weekend, whatever." And that immediately got railroaded and changed. And now I wasn't close enough for a weekend trip.
I also feel like a lot of things that females say is totally opposite of what they actually do. And that falls under that umbrella.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure why women do
Saying that out loud, I just don't get that.
Yeah, I mean, guys don't take hints. Right?
No, you have to be very
just don't.
direct.
Like, just tell us.
Yep.
Honestly, just even if it sucks for us to hear it, just tell us.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to get it.
No.
And when we talked about me taking this job and being out of town probably quite a bit, I asked multiple times if she was okay with it, and she said yes multiple times.
And that means you leave that alone, and that's the way it is.
I spent roughly 6 months in New York after that. I was home like 3 or 4 times for a couple long weekends.
Did she ever come see you?
Nope, she did not. She would make it a point to text me and tell me that she missed me and that I needed to come home. And every time I said, well, why don't you come out here for like, just come out for Friday, Saturday or something, you know, something always came up. And it is what it is, but then we had a falling out shortly after I was home.
Yeah, it wasn't
after
very long
that job. And she wanted a break, and
you don't do breaks.
I didn't want a break because I don't think they're a good idea, but I did it anyways. And it was like 2 weeks later, we split. Yeah, that was cool.
Thing was done.
She said, I think we need to take a break. And I said, I don't really like that. But what are your terms of this break? And they were...
I remember when you texted me that, I was like, excuse me, sir, what?
Yeah, they were, we don't need to text every day. And we don't need to see each other for probably like 2 weeks. And if we text off and on throughout that time and things get better, great. And then maybe we can meet up after 2 weeks and see if we're both level-headed now and whatever. So, funny enough, 2 days after that, boss goes, hey, can you go down to Georgia for 11 days?
Convenient.
And I'm like, yeah, sure. Because in my head,
that's your break.
she doesn't want to see me for 2 weeks.
Yep.
Can't see me if I'm out of town. It's fine.
Yep.
It's fine. That's how I'm going to deal with this. I'm going to cope with this by being so far away that I can't.
And it would be one of the farthest away states.
Right. And I don't know, it was like a week into it. And we were texting a little bit, and it kind of turned.
We all know how I feel about texting.
Yeah. And you're not wrong, but it kind of turned south, and she was like, well, I don't know how we're going to work it out when you're out of town anyways. And I was like, you didn't want to.
You literally wanted this.
You know, you didn't want to see me, so I took it. And then we decided that we were going to call it off.
That drove
it
me
is
nuts.
I mean, it is what it is.
100%. But
I've learned from it. I'm sure she learned something from it, you know.
Hope.
Or not. I mean,
yeah.
Good for her, but
Yeah. Hope you have
I don't want to say any regrettable things on this.
Hope you have the life you deserve.
But,
I'll say that.
Yeah. You know, I don't want to wish anything bad, but
No. Nope.
you know,
I said what I said. It's fine. Obviously, whatever we say lives forever on this shit, but I'll say what I said.
listen.
It's fine. I say a lot of shit on the internet.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A lot of
I
shit.
haven't noticed.
All the shit.
Everything.
All the shit.
Yeah. So I don't really know. I guess I could have came home like handling relationships. I guess I could have came home more.
Yeah.
But
she could have come see you.
I came home when I could. I
could have
worked
seen
it
you.
out. I don't disagree.
That bothers me.
In my opinion, there was not effort
No.
on her end.
As a person
It just
who exudes, that's not the right word. Exudes? Exudes. Exudes? Exudes. Yeah, I'm keeping that. It's funny.
Oh.
As a person who oozes effort. Is that better?
Yeah.
Person who gives effort in everything that I do, that is lame. Not planning it even once is crazy.
Yeah, it didn't make me feel that great.
No.
It didn't make me feel,
And you were there 6 months.
pretty much 6 months.
Yeah.
I was home for this weekend of that year. Mm-hmm. The 4th of July, I took a week. Was able to take a week. I was home for Labor Day weekend for 4 or 5 days. Mm-hmm. And then I came home one other time.
How does your vacation work? Because
We don't have vacation.
okay. Do you get a vacation check?
Nope.
No.
I think we're about to.
Because that's how Zach's works. And I
would
always
have
wonder.
I would have to go back through what our new union contract is, but I do believe we are going to get a vacation fund. So like X amount of dollars or cents per hour we work will go toward that.
Yep, that's exactly Zach's too.
But we don't have one as of right now. We don't have one, and it's pretty much just take off what you can afford,
Which sucks.
which sucks. Yeah, which is fine. It's not even the money part that sucks. It's just like you kind of feel like
Guilty
for taking off, even though
you need
you
it.
you shouldn't feel guilty. You're allowed to take that time off.
Absolutely. Mentally, you need that.
But I dealt with that, calling them. Well, I didn't even, thankfully the guy I was working with, he was like, hey, I got a wedding in a week and I'm going to be gone this day. Well, he told me ahead of time.
Oh, I was like, how the fuck do you
It
not
was
know
like couple weeks at a time. He's like, hey, I got a wedding this weekend and I'm going. And you're going to be stuck here alone, or you can go home. But if you choose to stay here in New York, I don't have a problem if you want to run home the weekend before for the same amount of time, and I'll stay here alone. That way you can go home and see your girl and whatever, and then I'll take care of whatever's going on while you're gone. You can come back, and then I'll go and do the same.
That's nice.
And he worked with me like that, and it was fine. It worked out fine. I mean,
Is that the guy you travel with now? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was able to come home and see her. In the long run, didn't matter.
Nope.
But I made the effort,
You did.
So it doesn't, it takes its toll on you mentally.
Yep.
The hours take it physically and mentally. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I'd probably say more mentally than physically, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, we do hard labor, but the stress dealing with customers or other contractors, management that probably shouldn't be in management.
I feel like that's a lot, but
that's like all the time for me. I'm not sure about Zach. Well, I mean, he just has to push a joystick, He's got a mechanical shovel. But yeah, the management sucks.
he just does some sketchy shit.
Yeah, that somebody who probably shouldn't be in charge said it's fine, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they also got that information from somebody else who shouldn't be in charge.
Yep.
Yeah, that's an everyday thing, and that sucks. I know that it's made me very irritated. I've come in the next day still frustrated. And it's affected me.
Absolutely.
It probably has affected some of the previous relationships that didn't work out. I probably came home upset and brought work home.
Yeah.
And everybody says don't do that.
It's hard not to.
It's easier said than done.
Yep. It is. I will say, as somebody who works from home, that part is hard sometimes for me.
Yeah, because your work's already at home.
Yeah. Or wherever the client needs me to be. But it's like the other, oh my God, like 2 weeks ago, I was so overstimulated. I had way too much shit happening, and Zach walks in the door and I was busy doing something. Still, I worked till like 9 o'clock that night. That's dumb. I work for my fucking self. Like, I started work at like 9:30 that day. Like, that was dumb. That was dumb. That was the first time, I guess, in a whole year that I've been that overstimulated and that irritated. And I'm sitting there and I'm bawling my eyes out. And I'm like, I can't separate myself from my job and my house at the moment. And I don't know how to communicate that at all. And I told him that. I'm like, I don't know how to communicate this with you. You can leave it. As soon as you close the excavator door, that's done and you can leave the job site. But me right now, I don't know why, but I can't let this go.
Yeah. So some people can.
And I normally can.
I think I had this discussion with B before, and I think he said that sometimes he'll sit in the truck.
Yep.
I do that.
But Zach doesn't.
I'm single and home alone, and I still do that some days. Some days I have to.
Yep.
The drive home wasn't enough, and I will sit in the van listening to music, and I will just scroll Facebook Marketplace or something
Yep.
which is hard to do because I do that a lot, and it doesn't refresh enough. I don't think it's always the same stuff.
It is. It is.
Because I look at it too much. But yeah, I'll have to sit there and just decompress because I'm in a bad mood. And I'm going to walk into my own house by myself and be in a bad mood. And then I'm not going to want to mow the yard, or I'm not going to want to do the laundry or clean the house. I'm not going to want to do any of that stuff. So I have to. And sometimes that helps. Sometimes it doesn't. But
Yep. And I realized that day that my decompression is, and I didn't even realize how often I did this until that day. I would sit out on the porch and wait for Zach to come home. But because he was already home, I fucked myself.
yeah.
That's literally what I do every day. Or I lay in our bed and I just lay there and look at the ceiling for 5 minutes. As cuckoo bananas as that sounds. It's great. It
a lot there.
makes me fucking calm down.
They used to have homes for people like that.
I know. I need a straight jacket. It's fine. I understand. I'm crazy. But that's what I do to decompress, is just sit there and read a book or whatever. And I didn't do it.
And then
I
you work till
spiraled.
9:30 and crash out.
And we ate dinner at like 10 o'clock.
Oof.
It was awful.
I think everybody needs something.
Absolutely. Whatever it is.
5 minutes after walking in the door.
Yep.
I mean, you don't want to walk in the door to Zach asking a bunch of questions when you've had a bad day.
No.
He doesn't want that when he walks in the door.
No.
I don't want that when I walk. Nobody wants that.
The only problem is I get so excited to tell him things, like happy things. But I think he loves it. So I sit there and I have to like chomp at the bit, like waiting like 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Just give him a few.
And he's just like, how was your day? And I'm like, "Ah!" And I'd be so excited to tell him stuff. And I know he loves it because he's his smirk, you know what I mean? But it sometimes kills me when something really good happens to me and I want to immediately tell him, but I can see it on his face.
And he's just not in the mood at the moment.
Nope.
And no matter how good that thing is, that you have to tell him.
I want to know.
It's not going to make his day better.
No.
It might even make him a little bit more irritated.
But
He
also has said to me many times that he lives through me. And I get that because his demeanor changes as soon as I start telling him these things, because he's just like, okay. Well, she had a good day.
You can almost see him loosen up.
Yeah. See, other people see it, not just me.
Oh yeah, you can see it when you're talking to him or something you like, or he just in general. You can kind of see he kind of loosens up a little bit, and not that he's uptight.
No,
but
he's the least uptight.
His body language changes.
It does
compared to when he's talking to other people.
Right, he's calm.
It's noticeable. I mean. I guess for somebody who hasn't been around as much as I have, it might not be noticeable, but I've known you guys long enough that I've seen it. I can see it.
It's like even just talking to him, like everybody says, your eyes light up so much when you talk to him. And it doesn't even, you could be talking about fucking toilet paper, and it's like, it's a stupid
I'd have
example.
to see that one to believe it, but that's
I can make anything exciting.
Yikes.
Let's be real.
Welcome to my TED Talk. We're going to talk about toilets.
Okay. So We're going to play 3 questions out of this.
Okay.
So, level 1 is icebreakers. Level 2 is confessions. Level 3 is getting deep.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, God. All right. Icebreakers. What is on your mind right now?
Debating on spending the money and treating myself to a dirt bike, a different dirt bike.
Do it.
Just to be clear, I already have one. I found another.
Buy it. Fucking buy it.
Twist my arm a little bit. I might have to go do it.
Listen. When Zach walked in the door and said, I want to buy a road bike, I did not hesitate once. I'm never going to be that person to tell you no. Unless you're like, I want to buy a Lamborghini or some shit.
Yeah,
Let's wait a little on that and we'll talk about it.
You don't know me. You don't run my life.
I'm talking about Zachary.
He wouldn't buy a Lamborghini.
No, he
anyways.
wouldn't.
He wouldn't have to worry about that.
I mean, if he came in and be like, I want to buy
2025
Cummins.
mega cab.
Oh, I would love that. I can't wait till the mega's
actually,
done.
we're gonna send it to my brother
Derek Rose.
first.
TNR Customs, hook me the fuck up.
Just have him and me do other stuff to it.
What are you currently addicted to? Cappy.
Definitely the white monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably bad.
It's probably bad.
Yeah, I don't know. There's 0 sugar, so they're good for me, right?
Aspartame's great.
Yeah. But didn't they just find out like taurine is like linked to like leukemia or something? Too?
Everything is.
Yeah,
We're all gonna die.
The air we breathe is gonna give us cancer.
This chair is gonna give you probably butt cancer or something.
I don't know. Yeah, white monster or
Beer?
no. Jack and Coke's pretty solid. Treaty Oak Revival music though, I've been like real heavy on that lately for some reason. So
I've been real hard on steel drivers for some reason. Loved that.
that's not a bad choice.
They're so good. I go in waves where I won't listen to them for a while, and then all of a sudden all I want to listen to is that.
Sun shining though, 90s country music.
Yes.
90s and early 2000s country.
Yeah,
Just,
you can never go wrong. I always clean the house best when it's 90s country.
dude, when I hear Shania Twain,
Kick the door down.
just busting the door down.
Love her.
It's so great. Puts me in the
Gretchen
best
Wilson
mood.
is Zach's girl.
She's OG.
I love her.
She's
Did you know at our wedding when we walked in, it was a Gretchen Wilson song, me and Zach, when we walked in at our reception here for the party. And I looked at him and I said, it's your girlfriend. He goes, I don't have a girlfriend no more. So
that wedding was a good time.
it was a fun wedding. I'm trying to convince him to do a vow renewal.
Oof. Good luck.
I know. I don't think he will. Maybe in like 10 more years or something. Because I want Eric to remarry us.
Really?
Yeah. Not his uncle. I just think it'd be funny to have like one of our friends remarry us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. He'd make it funny. That's why.
it would be probably amusing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that'd probably be a good time, actually.
Like you and like Rory could be like
Oh, Lord.
hand out beers to people down the aisle.
Yeah, we could be
The beer men.
the beer guys instead of...
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like it would be fucking funny.
Yeah, I'm here for that.
And it'd be in the yard
Yeah, I'm here for that.
by our redbud tree.
Fully support.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying.
I've already got a fanny pack and a beer sling.
Perfect. That's what I'm saying.
pass 'em
like
out.
I really want to do. I said like 15 years. He said 15 is too close. I said 10, 15. He's like
2025.
I think 2025. I'm like that just seems so long.
Yeah, but think about it. You made it that far.
I know.
Here's to another 25.
That's true.
Then at 50.
I think 20 would be good. 20 is fine. What is a dream you let go of, but it hurts?
Man, I don't know. I guess sports when I was younger. I quit football pretty early over some stupid reasons, and I kind of wish I would have kept playing. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I quit dirt bikes early at 4 years old.
At 4 years.
Got the first dirt bike and went right through our chain link fence.
Uh-uh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I've never heard that story.
Dad never turned the governor down, and he was just like, and this was like pretty much before there was training wheels, right? And he was like, "All right, here's the gas, here's the brake," and he like held on to the fender until I got going.
No.
And I just whiskey throttled that sucker, hung a right, went right through the chain link fence into the neighbor's yard. I was fine.
Do you have a helmet on?
I had a helmet on. I had a helmet
good.
and gloves.
Good.
All the stuff. I had a cut like right here on my pinky finger from where I caught the fence with my finger. And some
Perfect.
scratches on my helmet, and that was it. But it scared me. And
bet.
I did not want anything to do with that dirt bike.
But you got back on it eventually.
Not that one.
Not that day.
Nah, not for another like
20 years.
12 years. I mean, I was like 16. We went somewhere to like a Honda shop or something. And I was sitting on like a CR85 or something. I don't know. And I was like,
PTSD.
I was like, man, I want one of these. And my mom was like, we thought we were going to be traveling all over watching you race, but you wouldn't get back on that bike. That one kind of stings a little bit.
Yeah.
But I got a dirt bike now. I'll never go pro.
You're about to have two.
Don't plan. Yeah, maybe. Good. Then maybe when I find a girlfriend or a wife, she can just ride the other one.
Yeah. And ride it at our house.
I even have a small pit bike so she can get comfortable.
Perfect.
First.
Perfect. Just teach her.
Or I'll just have all the toys to myself. I don't care.
Or that.
But yeah, I guess maybe that one hurts because I wish I could have been some. I probably wouldn't have been something, but I wish I would have rode all the way through.
I think Zach feels the same way.
You know, but I've got one now and I can go ride. Like Friday, I was off work because we came home from Wisconsin for the weekend, and I loaded up and I went and rode all day Friday. Just enjoyed
Did you
it.
get a sunburn?
I got a little. Well, I've been out in the sun for work, so I'm already a little roached.
You're very tan.
Yeah, my ears are kind of a mess. My arms are pretty dark.
I got a fucking sunburn yesterday at the track. The worst stupid triangle. And like the tops of my arms. And my forehead.
I got my forearms pretty good. They're still peeling right now. That's why I'm wearing long sleeves.
You don't want to look like a snake.
Yeah, I don't like it. Nobody else needs to see it, you know.
Oh, man. Okay.
Hit me with it.
How does that work?
What do you got?
Oh, okay. So, what advice would you give to somebody that wants to become an electrician?
Take the chance. Just do it. Whether it's in a union or not, it's a good skill to have. You're going to learn a lot of things. You're probably going to see a lot of things. And I mean, I would probably recommend it more for people that like to use their hands. I wasn't good at school.
Same.
Quite frankly, I wasn't the best in the apprenticeship either in the class portions. A lot of that was me slacking off and not studying enough or whatever, which was most of my problem in high school too. But I was...
Do you have ADHD?
It's undiagnosed. But I was better with my hands, and I was able to get through the classes and do something where I'm busy every day. Building something, making something, putting something together, or taking it apart. And I would not trade that for the world, I don't think. I don't think I would ever want to sit in an office all day. I couldn't
Nope.
do it.
It's not fun. Can attest.
I'd say even if it's not being an electrician, I would look at trade schools. Mm-hmm. They get a bad name. They get bad reps. We're dirty, filthy construction workers, but your house wouldn't be built without them.
Yep.
Your roads that you drive on wouldn't be made without them. Nothing here would be made without them.
Literally nothing.
We need people in all the trades. I would say go to the electricians just because we're better. But
Male and female.
yeah. We have quite a few female apprentices now. We're starting to see that trend kind of go.
Yep. I did a podcast with a female electrician. Oh. That's pretty cool.
I don't think I saw that one.
I was on hers.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that we need them. Mm-hmm. Guys, girls, whatever.
Whatever you are.
Yeah. You might get made fun of, so it's not really. You need to have some thick skin.
I was just gonna say.
You're gonna hear everything. Yep. You're gonna get called names that you didn't even know were names. But man, at the end of the day, I've got a skill I can use anywhere. Yep. I've met people. I mean, obviously, I've known you and Zach before that, but I've made friends with other operators, plumbers, HVAC guys, all this stuff. And those guys have a skill now, and we have a connection. So if I have a question, I can call them. Yep. And they can walk me through it, or they can come help, or whatever, and vice versa. And it's a nice community, networking. I mean, everybody's going to need all this stuff. Always. It's never going to go out.
Nope. It won't.
So, honestly, just pick a trade, even if it's not electricians. But beware, you will get made fun of. You're gonna hear things
in every trade.
In every trade,
literally every trade.
Every trade, it's bad.
When Zach was a laborer, he's just a laborer. Why do you love that? Because I'm proud of him.
I said that.
I know. It
was just a labor,
right? But damn, I was proud. And then he became an operator. He just moved to joystick.
Oh yeah, I did say that
just now. But yeah,
I mean, I don't even use a broom though, so who am I?
I know you're trashy.
Dude, garbage.
Gosh.
We see those open floor vents in the floor, and take the broom.
You do not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't personally, but I've seen people. We're like, oh, cool, they put a trash can right here.
You do not.
I don't. I don't work in houses, typically.
Patrick?
I don't.
Okay.
I'm outside. The earth is my trash can. Just kidding.
Oh.
Just kidding.
I'll get canceled for that.
Yeah, no, we don't do that. We actually pick up when we're outside.
Good.
Yeah, that'd be terrible.
It would be.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Do you have advice for anybody else, not just electrician, people that want to be an electrician? Any word of advice to anybody? Parting words.
Yeah, don't let people talk you out of something if you love it.
Yes.
Just do it. Take the risk. If you have the opportunity, find a way to get the opportunity. Just do it. Mm-hmm. I mean, literally the Nike slogan. Don't be scared. You're going to come across stuff that you don't know how to do. You're going to come across stuff that you might not understand.
You grow out of your comfort zone.
You learn, you grow, you make connections. By getting into whatever it is, you're going to meet somebody else who's in that. Build up some sort of friendship there, even if it's just minimal, where you can kind of talk a little bit. Mm-hmm. Ask them when you're worried about something, but don't be afraid to take the leap and just do whatever it is that you find enjoyable or interests you. Mm-hmm. Because it's worth it. It's just, you'll regret not doing it.
Yep.
A lot of what ifs.
Yep.
And it's easier to just try it. So.
Yep.
I can 100% agree with that advice.
Yeah. It's kind of how this happened, huh?
Yep. This is still scary.
But you're doing it.
Trying.
Yeah, you're doing it.
People are
I'd say
listening.
you're doing it. Well,
Like 5. It's fine. And I appreciate
maybe 4.
the 4 people that listen.
Well, yeah, I mean, don't be scared. Just do it.
Yep. What do you got to lose? Honestly.
Nothing.
Life is fucking short. Just try it.
A couple days. Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Yeah.
If it doesn't pan out.
Yep. Who cares?
Regroup and try again.
Yep.
What's a couple days in the end of things?
Nothing.
It's not going to make or break you.
Nope.
So.
Nope. Sweet.
Just do it and plug away at it.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on my podcast.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
See ya. Good job.